Welcome to Fight Club 247.
Right, we'll forget that. Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, with John Cooney today. Cooney, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good, yeah. Can't complain.
Right, you're down in Manchester with the O'Rourke boys. Tomorrow, good day for you. You got some good sparring and
Yes. Got some sparring lined up with Zelfa Barrett tomorrow, so yeah, should be good.
Why sparring Zelfa? How did that come about?
Zelfa messaged me. He's seen him over in Manchester training. He's fighting Alex Dilamangi on April the 22nd, who is a southpaw. I'm also a southpaw, so yeah, put two and two together, and that's what you get.
Good, that Zelfa. So just for people who may not know, so when you get sparring organised, especially a southpaw, it's hot. It's like gold dust to find a southpaw sparring partner. And Alex, I didn't realise Alex was a southpaw actually, and who Zelfa's fighting. So for him to get you in camp, it's going to benefit him because you're a southpaw, but it's going to benefit you sparring a world-class fighter. I know you've sparred him before, but it give you confidence.
Yeah, but look, it's good. It's good for the both of us. Obviously, like you say, he's a world-class fighter. He's up at that world level. He fought for a world title in his last fight, and I think if he wins this fight, he's in line to fight for a world title again.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's fighting a southpaw, so it just makes sense for him. And look, there's not many southpaws flying around in the super featherweight division, and I happen to be in Manchester as well, doing a bit of training and stuff. So it makes sense for him and for me. Yeah.
So let people know your professional record is what, John?
7-0 now. 7-0, yeah.
7-0, and you were showing me before you're 14th on BoxRec in the rankings on is it super featherweight in Britain?
In the UK, top 14, 14th in the UK. So hopefully break into that top 10 by the end of the year and start looking at titles.
Now I'll be honest with you, John's a bit of an unknown commodity. You will, as I say a lot with Ryan O'Rourke and with John, you will see him on the big shows, because the thing with John is he likes to fight. He can bang. He's got a left hand that will knock you out, and he likes to fight. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, right? There's one fight I want to see. Now I'm a bit neutral because I am from Manchester, right? And John's my friend, but I want to see John Cooney and Michael Gomez Jr. in a fight. That's what I want to see, because I know for a fact if he pushed you like that, there's riots going on, isn't there?
Listen, the way in, the way you push it, I'm not taking that. No, not I think I was surprised that your man even took that disrespect. To be honest, if he put his hands on me like that, it'd be going off. I wouldn't be taking that for nobody. You'd need a few security guards in between that.
I know for a fact that's the truth. And Gomez, I love Gomez's dad, and Gomez is a good fighter. But you and Michael Gomez Jr., it's a clash of styles. I don't understand why matchmakers aren't pointing this out. I don't know why. Am I doing your job? I don't understand it. I'm telling you, you've got two tough, fit, strong people who want to go to battle. Right, him and Gomez Jr., they will stand in the middle, that old school phone booth fighting. And to be honest with you, Cooney, I don't know who wins the fight.
I do, me.
I don't know who wins it, because Gomez is there to be outboxed, right?
And he's there to be hit, not just outboxed. He's there to be hit. He's a static target. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being funny enough. In the first 3 or 4 rounds, Levi Giles couldn't miss him.
Yeah, but my thing is you don't fight like Levi. So for me, I think, now I'm not saying it's an easier fight, but your style is easier than Giles. But Gomez won't have to think as much. Even though I think he could get knocked out. Do you understand what I mean by that? It's not putting you down.
It's different styles. Different styles make fights, as they say. It'd be definitely a bit more of an entertaining fight between me and Gomez, because I wouldn't run. Yeah. I mean, Levi Giles, the first 3 rounds, he literally ran around the ring and tired himself out. In my opinion, he should have stayed a bit more in the centre of the ring and picked his moments when to move. Obviously, Levi Giles isn't a toe-to-toe fighter, which is fair enough. Yeah. But you don't use up your legs in a 10-round fight in the first 3 or 4 rounds.
Do you think he gassed out towards the end?
Of course he did. But if you watch the first 3 or 4 rounds, you can can understand why. He didn't stop moving.
Yeah.
And when you move that much and you're doing a 10-rounder, unless you're used to moving like that for 10 rounds, you're going to get tired. And obviously the way Gomez fights coming forward, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I certainly wouldn't be running around the ring like that.
Gomez has that old Manchester style where he's just coming forward. He throws it. It's like an uppercut right hand. He really like lead. Do you understand what I mean? That shot's like a screw shot. It's really,
it's compact. He's compact. Comes forward. Yeah, he's a fit lad who comes forward. He's game. He wants to fight and he wants to stand right in front of you and just you go, I go, you go, I go sort of thing. That's what you can see what he likes. But yeah.
Oh, mate, I'm telling you,
it'd be juicy.
I'm telling you now, right? I'd get a cup of tea, a peanut butter sandwich, a glass of champagne, and I'd be fucking watching that fight. I'm telling you, it's it's one of those fights where it's a guaranteed fight of the year contender. It's an absolute barnstormer. They're just going to stand in the middle and fight. That's what I want to see. And I think that fight could happen. I really do. I think
it will happen. I don't think could happen. I think it will happen. I mean, he's an English champion. I'm heading towards domestic titles towards the end of this year, early next year. I want a British title at some point next year. So yeah, if he keeps winning and I win the next few fights, that's a fight that will happen, you know. So yeah.
And
I'm sure Gomez would have no problem taking it.
Yeah.
So if he sees this, yeah, we can get it cracking, you know.
That's what I love because I know for a fact Gomez likes to play mind games, but listen,
he's game. Do you know what I mean? Like he's up for it. Like I don't see him shying away from many fights on the British level. So we can get it cracking.
I'd love to see the mind games, and because I know for a fact it's not going to work for you.
To put it this way, all these little things that he was doing fight with Levi, none of that will work with me. The pushing, the shoving, the saying this and that. It'd be, look, Levi obviously never been on that stage. Mate, he's obviously not a shit talker. He's not that way inclined. He just goes in there and boxes, do you know what I mean? I'm a different story, do you know what I mean? You're not going to be able to play with me like that.
But to be fair, though, no one's going to be was expecting for him to be launched like that. So what would happen?
He had his hands behind his back though. Who goes up to a face off with their hands behind their back?
You think you got to be ready for that?
Well, yeah. Like I'm not being funny enough. And look at face offs over the years, especially with how riled up Gomez was.
Yeah.
You think I'm walking up going to face with my hands behind my back, leaving myself defenseless? No chance. I'm having them by my side, ready to rock.
What would you? Because obviously different fighters have approached things differently. So if you say that a fight does happen, whatever, a year, 18 months, 6 months, whenever it is, right? It does happen. You know he's going to play mind games. How would you... And you've probably not had that in your career so far. You've not had the dance partner to really go at each other because you've been fighting abroad and, you know, building your record up. So how would you approach that fight? Do you think there'd be something in your mind? Like, do you think about that? Because I know, like, being launched, no one wants that to happen on fucking TV. But at the same time, I know we're all talking about, right, we'll fucking do this and that. But let's be honest, no one wants a fight to fucking be cancelled.
No, of course, and the fight shouldn't be cancelled. It'd be silly on Giles's behalf if they did cancel the fight. It was a big fight for him. He done well. He could have won the fight. I personally believe he won the fight. Watching it on Sky, I think if you were in the building watching the fight close up, I think you would have thought Gomez won. But I think watching it on TV, for me, Giles won more of the early rounds, so that's why I would have given him the fight. I think you could kind of see the narrative with Sky all week. It was Gomez and Gomez's dad. You know, obviously his dad was a legend. And it is what it is.
Yeah.
But they wanted him to win.
Yeah.
It suits the narrative for him to win and for them to keep putting him on Sky, to keep bringing him back to Manchester, which, look, that's part of the game. Do you know what I mean? He's an easier sell. Nobody, you know, realistically knows the name Levi Giles compared to Gomez's name, you know. So it suited the narrative, but to me, I think Levi Giles really nicked the fight by 1 or 2 rounds. It was a close fight. Gomez came on strong in the second half, and but I would have given the fight to Giles.
If he's looking at this Gomez, right, or boxer or his manager, and they're thinking, well, who's John Cooney? What would you say to that?
I say they'll know in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They'll know in the next 12 months. Yeah. They'll know because it'll be cracking. We'll get it cracking.
There's so many good fights for you in that super featherweight division, and people might be looking at me, or people might be looking at John and going, well, "Who's John Cooney?" But I'm sure if you follow me, you know I know my boxing. Right, I wouldn't have him here. I wouldn't be talking like this if this wasn't true. I watch him spar. I've seen him box countless times, right? And the thing with Cooney is he's been tested as well. He was abroad. I'll try and get the footage on it.
My last fight was against a lad who was 6-1 as well, who actually just beat a Scottish prospect there last weekend.
When that was a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago in London, in Canning Town, in Peacock Gym. I boxed Gravy Mendoza or something his name was. He was tricky, he was awkward, and the fight was at light welterweight as well, because it was...
How many rounds was it?
It was 6 rounds, over 6 rounds. He took me the distance. He was tricky, he was awkward, do you know what I mean?
Was he from Nicaragua?
Nicaragua, yeah, them boys, he had a head like that size, it was
Can't
mad,
knock them
you know,
boys
yeah.
out.
Just when I weighed in, you know, and I had a look at him, I was like, this fella's gonna be able to take a slap. So yeah, no, I'm being tested early on, and we plan to keep moving it that way. Do you know what I mean? My next fight now in Galway, Leisureland, on April the 21st is over 8 rounds, so it's my step up to 8 rounds, which I'm more than ready for. So I'm looking forward to that, you know.
Yeah. So going back to the footage I'm going to put up, if I can find it, is when was it in Poland or Spain where you got dropped?
Spain. That was.
So it was in Spain, and he took, I can't remember if it was a left hook. It might have been a left hand. It was
it was a right hand. It was overhand right. Yeah.
And it was bang on the chin, and it was one of them punches where it looks like you might not get up. And to be fair to John, he got up, banged his chest, as you can see, if the footage is on. And then I remember thinking, then that's what you want. No fighter, fights say I've not been dropped and all that, but it's all a little bullshit. If you've never been dropped, you've got serious issues, because how are you going to react to that? You don't want to be in a scenario where you've never been dropped and you're in a massive world title fight and you get dropped and you don't know what to do. I'm a big believer that on these shows you should be times where you're getting tested, and you should have adversity about being dropped. Like, do you think that gives you confidence from knowing that you can get back up and win the fight?
Well, look, to be honest, I always knew that's something that I could do. Obviously, sometimes you know yourself as a person, whether you've been through them adversities or not. Yeah. You know yourself as a person. I know one thing I'll always do is get back up, regardless to the situation. Even if I'm losing the fight, it's not going my way, and I get dropped, and I get hurt, I'm getting back up and I'm fighting on. I'm going out on my shield, if that's the case. But at the time, I wasn't actually... It looks like I was probably... The shot that landed, it looked like I would have been more hurt than I was. It took me 2 seconds to get. I got straight back up. I didn't take a knee or wait for a few seconds. I probably got up too quick, but I was fine. Like, I didn't feel hurt, and I got back up, and naturally, I mean, I didn't even think about it. I just tapped my chest. Basically, me telling me that I'm fine and I'm good to go. Like, you know, I didn't feel like maybe if I was really hurt and I was a bit all over the place, I wouldn't have done that. But I knew I was ready to rock. So yeah, of course, look, it gives you confidence knowing that I got dropped and I was able to keep my cool, and that was in the first round of my first 6 rounder. So obviously then the pressure is on to win the remaining rounds to win the fight. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I went and did.
It's true, because I forget about that. When you have 6 rounders, it's like, it's all good and well getting 6 rounds, but if you're in a bit of trouble in the fight, it's not a lot of time to get that.
No, like, I mean, straight away you're down 2 rounds.
Yeah.
In the first round, you know, so you're clawing back, and then if you lose another round, next thing you know, you can't lose any more, otherwise it's a draw or you've lost, you know.
What did you think? What was going through your mind? What's it like, that feeling when you get caught and you're down? Like, was that the first time you've ever been down?
It's the first time I've ever been dropped with a headshot, yeah. It's the first time I've ever been dropped with a headshot, yeah.
What did that feel like?
Didn't really feel anything, you know. Like, to be honest, it was a little bit of shock, I guess, like, because I didn't really see it coming. I've got a very good chin, so it's not something I actually really envisioned ever happening to me. I envisioned it and what I would do, and I did what I've always thought I would do if it happened, but it's not something I thought would happen. But to me, it was more of a balance thing, you know. He caught me at perfect time, and it just shows that sometimes it's not about the power of the shot or whatever. It's about, you know, I was kind of leaving myself open, swinging, and I got caught as I was swinging. So it was a bit of an off balance thing, but I didn't really feel anything. I went down, and the first thing was in my head, get straight back up. And then it was go to the corner, take a little few seconds, take a deep breath, and then go meet him head on, because obviously, naturally, if you drop someone, they're coming straight back at you. And I knew that. Do you know what I mean? I was ready for that. I took my couple of breaths, said, all right, come on. I went straight to him, you know, because I knew he was going to come straight to me. So there's no point trying to run, you know.
And you've got a good management team around you now. It's Mark Dunlop, who's your manager, I believe, who managed James Tennyson. I always remember Eddie Hearn saying, you know what? the thing with Mark Dunlop is he never stops ringing me, he never stops emailing me, to the point where I was getting fucking annoyed with him. But you know what? I'd rather have a manager like that. And for me, fair play, because there's so many managers out there who wants to take the 15-20%, but all they do, they're like a receptionist. They just pick up the phone, say you're fighting them, and that's it. You know, they don't do anything else.
No, he's a brilliant manager. Look, I've been with him now for the guts of a year and a half or a bit more or something, but in that time I didn't box for quite a while. I had a lot of things going on behind the scene and a few logistic problems and stuff, and even though I hadn't fought for him or anything like that, he was working hard for me behind the scenes. So yeah, he's a good man. He's done a lot for me since I've been with him, and we're only really getting started, so I'm looking forward to the future with Mark. Yeah, he's a brilliant manager.
What is he like as a manager? Is he full on? Is he calling you all the time? Because I know managers
No. I mean, we don't need big, we don't have big conversations about everything that's going on. He lets me know things that I need to know, and I do my work. I'm a boxer. I go to the gym. I train hard, and obviously he lets me know about fight dates, and we're in correspondence and whatever. And but when he's a manager, he does his job. I do my job. It's not. We're not, going.
But what does he say? That is there a plan? Is there like?
Yeah, there's a plan. Of course, we're going down the British route, and we want to be fighting for a British title next year. I'm 7-0 now.
Who is the British champion at super featherweight? Is it vacant?
Yeah, it's vacant.
Malachi was gonna fight.
Yeah, it's vacant. So yeah, the 7-0. I'm fighting now in 2 weeks' time. Is it 2 weeks' time? 2 or 3 weeks' time in Galway. I'll be going to 8-0 then. And yeah, we want to get another couple of 2 or 3 fights in this year. And you're looking at 10-0, 11-0. And then we want to start going for titles. Next year we want to go for titles. Commonwealth, maybe the English Commonwealths, British. See what's in the pipeline. Mark, again, like to me, I leave that stuff to Mark. He's a brilliant manager. He's tried and tested. He's done it before for plenty of fighters. Yeah. So I get in the ring and do my job and let him do his, and we're going to go very far doing that. So we'll be in, like I say, we're looking at the British next year, 100%.
Zalfa Barrett and Demelaji, I cannot wait for that fight. I can't wait. I do think Eddie Hearn has picked Alex because he knew he was ill a few weeks ago. Eddie Hearn's not stupid, right? I think he's picked Alex knowing that he was in hospital a few weeks ago. But Alex is a Spartan. I swear to God, this guy, right? His mentality is off the charts. Like, he's just a throwback fighter. And him and Zalfa, for me, it's a great fight. Who wins that fight?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen a whole lot of Alex Delamangi. I've seen clips of him, I've seen bits of him.
You not watched the Fonseca fight a few years ago?
No, I've watched... did I watch him fight? I think I watched a bit of it, but I didn't watch the whole fight.
Mate, it was a fight of the year contender. Yeah, it was on Channel 5. It was one of the best fights I've watched.
Yeah, I've watched bits of him. He's a come forward, quite close guard, southpaw. He does look tough. He looks
like a
fit.
Mexican style, hasn't he? And he's been he lived in Mexico, I think, for a bit.
He looks fit, but if you look at Zelfa's last fight against Rakhimov, who was also a southpaw, he looked good. He looked very good. And then he got hurt. I think he got a perforated eardrum, and you could just see basically his legs when he didn't have his legs. He could barely kind of stand up straight. He was all over the place. So I think if that never happened to him in that fight, he could have won that fight. I mean, he dropped Rakhimov.
Yeah.
He was outboxing him. He was a bit too slick for him, a bit too fast for him, and Rakhimov couldn't really deal with him. So be interesting to see how Delamangi goes about that, because it depends on the ring also. If it's a big ring, Zelfa's going to use it. So I don't know. I would favour Barrett, like you said. Obviously, apparently Delamangi was sick not too long ago. Yeah. So I mean, obviously your body takes a while to recover from illnesses and stuff. So it really, it's an interesting fight, but it really does depend on a couple of variants of the fighters as well. So it's an interesting fight, all right.
I think it's a great fight. I think a lot's going to depend on how much Alex has in this fight. Obviously, Alex is going to say, I'm fucking ready, I'm ready. But the fact is, he was seriously ill in hospital a few weeks back.
Only he'll know himself if he's ready. I mean, you put the rounds in the gym, and he might be putting them in even though he's not 100%. But if you're doing 10, 12 round spars and you're as flat as anything, then you know. So I mean, but again, only him and his coach will really know that, and maybe a few of the sparring partners. I don't know. It depends who you're sparring as well. You know, like at the end of the day, sparring partners are what help you get ready for the fights. Yeah. And the tougher the sparring, the better. You know. So I'm
looking forward to it. I like both, man. Right, John. Follow John on his socials, Instagram. You're not on Twitter, are you? You're on Twitter.
I am, yeah. I don't use it properly, but I'm on it.
What's your Instagram?
JHC_boxing on all the socials. I'm pretty sure that's my Twitter. I can't even remember.
I'll pull it up on here. When's your next fight?
April the 21st in Galway, the west coast of Ireland, on a Conlon boxing show. So, looking forward to that one now.
Yeah, that'd be good. All right, John.
Nice one.
Good to see you. Right, let me know what you think. Do you want to see John Cooney fight Michael Gomez?
It's getting cracking.
I want to see that. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, let me know.